Hi, brother. Look, I want to spend a little time here speaking directly with you about an issue that is not discussed enough, I think, in the rebooting process. And it's so important part of our recovery journey, and that is the withdrawal symptoms that you're facing, that I faced, that we all face. See, the withdrawal, um, if you can understand it, how it will impact the reboot, how it impacts your recovery. This is an important skill during rebooting, and the withdrawal symptoms, once you recognize them, will become uh, like like rocket fuel to your ultimate success. But we tend not to focus a lot on the withdrawal symptoms because we don't understand it completely. And other maybe programs or other mentors or gurus, they might not even talk about it at all. Or they pay like the lip service to it. So I want to go deep. I want to actually talk about each one, describe it a little bit, and just to make you feel comfortable and aware of what these symptoms are, how you're experiencing them. Maybe you have already been experiencing them. So we identify that what that is and how it can be used, again, as like rocket fuel for your success. Okay? So our brain, right? We, as addicts, we're connecting our synapses for that dopamine rush, right? All the chemicals that are in the brain that were connected, we had created pathways, right, for pleasure. And during the reboot, you are cutting those pathways off. Following during then the rewiring, where you are actually recreating what those pathways are and where they lead to. The result of which is, we shouldn't be surprised, there are some chemical changes. There are withdrawal symptoms. Look, if you've ever taken a small break from drinking alcohol, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've done drugs and you've had a detox from the cocaine or from the heroin, those just as two examples. The withdrawal symptoms, you've experienced that, you know what that is. But the most common withdrawal symptoms during the reboot, and it's something that all of us have experienced to some degree, either in severity or less severity, but we all have experienced it. So look, I'm with you. I'm with you on this because I've experienced it myself. The first one is anxiety. The anxiety level, I mean, that is exactly, we've used pornography as the crutch, right? We get stressed, we get anxious, we relieve that stress and that anxiety. And we feel good temporarily, and then it returns, right? Well, now that we've cut off that, well, it's negative, but our minds, we think of it as a positive to act out. We've stopped that. We've cut that out. We're going to be anxious. We're going to be anxious over the smallest things. And then, of course, the biggest things. So anxiety. First, kind of withdrawal symptoms. They're not in order, but it's a withdrawal symptom. Another, mood swings. I mean, it's something that we usually talk about women, right? The women, they're hormonal. They've got the mood swings. They're happy in the morning. They're pissed off in the afternoon. Mood swings also affects men. It also is affecting us. It's part of the withdrawal. We're going to be a lot more grumpier, a lot more cranky, pissed off, whatever word you want to use. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're going to be anxious. Part of that mood swings, we're going to be irritable. My goodness, I was irritable, and I made the mistake. I was not distinguishing that from actual genuine anger. But during therapy and some other things that I was doing, I was able to eventually distinguish between the two. But irritability is part of the withdrawal, as is lack of energy or low energy. It has nothing to do with the weather. You might have the best plan for the day, and you're zapped. You don't have the mental energy to do it, and you don't have maybe even the physical energy to do it. Low energy. Strange dreams or insomnia. I didn't have so much the insomnia, but for me, I had some rather strange dreams. Yeah. Poor concentration. Here's another withdrawal syndrome, right? Because it's linked to that irritability. It's linked to the mood swings. So we can't focus. It's almost kind of like a mental blindness, but in reverse, right? We got that mental blindness as addicts. We're only focused on the next hit of porn, the next chance I get to masturbate. But now we can't concentrate on the most simplistic of things because we're focused on how we're feeling during the withdrawal. We're restless. I remember distinctly, I had a new apartment. I had moved into a new apartment or a new flat, and within maybe 2 weeks, I didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to move. I wanted to go somewhere else. I was just restless. Headaches. This is probably the one commonality of intense withdrawal symptom that we all share. Right, a headache. I had a friend. He wasn't a client, but I was his accountability partner. And if he would go, it was really intense for him. But if he would go just 1, 2, maximum 3 days, which was awesome. He really had some struggles. But after day 1 of no porn, no masturbation, he would have the most intense headaches. Maybe you do too. The inability to have an erection. You flatlined. Now that's different than erectile dysfunction, right? Porn-induced erectile dysfunction. But this lack of sexual interest or just the inability to get hard, that's flatlining. And that's part of the withdrawal as well. Low enthusiasm. One more, right? Low enthusiasm. It's connected kind of to that low energy. I like to say it's kind of like a lack of motivation, right? We might have that list. We might really want to do some things, but it's the lack of enthusiasm to get them done. Now, I just gave you a short little list of some withdrawal symptoms. Anxiety, mood swings, irritability, you got low energy, insomnia or strange dreams, poor concentration, restlessness, we got headaches, flatlining, and how about that low enthusiasm or lack of motivation? So these are some common withdrawal symptoms. But there's 3 reasons I identify. There's 3 reasons that these above symptoms actually are occurring, and they often are overlapping, right? I mean, for me, I would have a headache. I would be lack of enthusiasm. Be I have lack of motivation. And then also I would be just full of anxiety. Well, they were all overlapping, right? One of the main reasons for the overlap is that we don't distinguish. We don't know if we're depressed or not, because there's an overlap, a lot of these, with depression. So actually, I would urge you to reach out to a professional, to a therapist, if you feel that, you know what, I might be depressed. This is another, again, it's overlapping, but this is another issue that is it accompanies us for our journey of recovery. To relieve depression, lack of coping skills, boys, now men, have turned to porn and masturbation. And trying to get out of that, right? Trying to create new habits, to reboot, to ultimately recover successfully, we might have to actually address a deeper root of the problem, which could be depression. So if you feel that you need to, I then strongly urge you to reach out to a professional, okay? A therapist, a psychologist, and see perhaps that you have some depression. The symptoms are going to come and go. This is something also that we tend not to focus too much on because we're focused on other things for our reboot. But it can be, and I'll share a personal experience. It was after the first year, and I thought I was arrogant, actually. So that's one fallacy, right? I kind of was too arrogant. I thought I had this thing beat. I made it to a year. And maybe about 3 months into it, I started having some of these withdrawal symptoms. I suddenly was irritable. I wasn't, I didn't have a lot of energy, right? So there was a low energy as well, from the perspective of my libido, right? I was able to, actually, this was kind of strange. I was able to have erections. I was able to become aroused, but I didn't actually have interest in sex. And that was around like a year and 3 months. So some of these symptoms, they come and they go, right? They come and they go. So that's something to be aware of as well. Okay, and then the third is we feel frustrated when we don't see the progress. So then when we relapse, it's almost catastrophic. I'm here to assure you, or at least to reassure you, that it's all part of the journey. Some experts will say that there's a certain month, right? 90 days, or after 6 months, you won't have these symptoms anymore. For some of you, maybe. For others, maybe not. So the withdrawals come and go. But I just want to stress it again. We need to be aware of them. So hopefully you've written these down. And if not, I want you to do so again. Okay, withdrawal symptoms, anxiety, mood swings, irritability, low energy, insomnia, or maybe some strange dreams, poor concentration, restlessness. You have headaches, flatlining, and then, of course, low enthusiasm or lack of motivation. These are your withdrawal symptoms. Be aware of them. Refer to them in your notes as you are journaling, as you're following a pattern of your recovery. You're seeing what it is, right? What are your triggers? How are you feeling? The more you are aware of yourself, with then a guided mentor who's gone through it before, such as myself, you will be successful. I guarantee it. You will be successful, and you'll be so happy with yourself. You're going to transform yourself. Okay? Remember, your tomorrow starts today.